He just sent a serious message to the NFL, to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and to their fans. A position room with a lot of question marks coming into the season has finally been answered. My name is Tamir Jean-Charles. This is Steelers Digest. I've got a good one for you guys. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please get subscribed. Only 67% of you are subscribed. The season is upon us. I've got New York Jets versus Pittsburgh Steelers game recap. How you doing, Steelers fans? We've got an exciting one today. We've got the game recap against the New York Jets, the season opener away from home in East Rutherford at MetLife Stadium. And this was an interesting game, to say the least. I like to start. This is the first game recap of this season. I like to start top bottom. We'll go from offense to defense. If you didn't really make that much of an impact, I'll talk about you, but I just want to go through everybody so we can all, so everyone can get an overview about what happened if you did not watch the game. I thought this was going to be an easier game than it obviously turned out to say. As you can see the score right there, Pittsburgh Steelers prevailed 34-32, and me personally, I didn't want it to happen like this, but in regular Pittsburgh Steelers fashion, in regular heart attack Pittsburgh Steelers fashion, this was a slobber knocker affair, and like I said, it was a heart attack in week one. Usually these happen later in the season, but Pittsburgh Steelers football is back, I guess. But I digress. But in a couple of fun, just little facts to say, Justin Fields, former Pittsburgh Steeler, opening up his season with his new team against his former team. Aaron Rodgers, former New York Jet, opens up his season with the Pittsburgh Steelers against his former team. A lot of fun things. Brandon Echols, our slot corner we got from the Jets. A lot of fun little facts and matchups like that happened in this game. Aaron Rodgers played really, really good football. Really, really good football. A guy that had, me personally, I didn't really have a lot of question marks about him. I know who we're getting. We're getting Aaron Rodgers. He's a champion. He's a multi-time MVP. He knows how to run an offense. He's got the arm talent. That's the only thing I really loved and was very happy about, is that I know this guy has the arm talent to be able to get us where we need to go. And he showed it off. 4 touchdowns, back in your on your home field, where he received a lot of boos, received a lot of stick from the fans, and he balled out the only way Aaron Rodgers knows how to do. Surprisingly, Justin Fields played really, really good football. I mean, really, really good football. Escaping sacks, he escaped TJ Watt. He didn't record a sack yesterday. Cam Heyward didn't record a sack. Alex Highsmith finally got to him at the end there. No sack for Benton and the other guys. Obviously, Herbig was out. He was inactive this game, so we didn't have Big Nick Herbig on Highsmith's side. But he played really, really good football. I mean, Garrett Wilson kind of killed us a little bit. I guess I should say a lot. Pittsburgh Steelers don't normally run people around, and in terms of their corners with number ones, it's not really how we go. Joey Porter was on him. He gave up a catch. Darius Slay was on him a few times. He gave up a couple catches. Other than that, Jalen Ramsey. And I will get to the defense, but other than the shocking performance that the defense, displayed in terms of the running game, as Breece Hall, in terms of combined yards, went dumb on us. I think he had like 140 plus yards of total offense, which he's one of the best receiving backs in the league. He killed us yesterday, which was unacceptable. Only thing I can give the defense is that there are a lot of pieces that we added in the summer, so hopefully people can gel. Caleb Johnson, when we're talking about his role, and I know people want to know about him, when you already have a limited role on the team and you're trying to earn people's trust to get to your role and get what you want, get where you want to get, you can't be fumbling the rock. You cannot fumble the rock. And he fumbled on kickoff. Fortunately, we recovered it. And after that, we didn't see him. He had a negative 2-yard pitch that turned into a 15-yard penalty for us. So it was, net 13 yards. Because of unnecessary roughness. He was going out of bounds, and somebody hit him while he was already out of bounds. That's the only carry he had of the game. So after that fumble, the trust from Mike Tomlin kind of went down, which obviously it's not the end of the day, but if you keep fumbling the rock in the NFL, it will be the end of the day for you. So I want to see him improve. I want to see the line improve a little bit with this outside zone scheme, that Arthur Smith likes to run. It seems like the linemen don't really hold their leverage and they don't pull really well as a collective, which is a problem in outside a wide zone scheme. So I want to see better on the running game. Offensively, DK Metcalf was good. He only touched the ball 4 times. He had 4 catches. He had one circus catch to get to his 4th reception at the end of the game to get us into, I wouldn't say field goal range, but to kind of get us into that range of field goal range. He ended the day with 4 catches for 83 yards. Like I said, Highsmith with that 1 sack. And Chuck Clark, who was elevated off the practice squad, led the team in tackles, evidently. But that's the offense. Calvin Austin made a few big catches, had a touchdown. Jonnu Smith with an end around. We can kind of see, Arthur Smith's scheme there with that play call. Offensive played really well. It was one of the first times since, we've had the 3 Bs on our team, Boswell, Bell, and Brown, that I was like, just get a stop so we can get the ball to the offense. I don't really say that often, or Yinzers don't really say that often, and that was the case in this game. So it was really, really good to see that. Now the defense, like I said, I'm gonna give them grace just because it's a lot of pieces. Jalen Ramsey, new. Juan Thornhill, new. Chuck Clark, new. Malik Harrison, new. There's a lot of Brandon Eccles, new. Like there's a lot of Darius Slay, new. There's so many guys that are starting on that defense that are just new to the scheme, new to Coach Tomlin, new to the black and gold. So it's not as plug and play as one might think. That's the only grace I'm going to give them. I'm going to give them like 3 weeks. We've got Zach Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker next week in Pittsburgh. The Seahawks aren't going to be shy to run the ball. They will be throwing it a lot to Jackson Smith and Jigba, but they're not going to be shy to run the ball. So, we kind of got to pick it up. But first game of the season, first time, really stretching your legs and putting pads on and hitting people. So I will give them the grace. They are the most expensive defense in the league. So you only get so much grace before we have to start holding guys accountable. Obviously, Cam Heyward didn't really practice with the group a lot because of his contract negotiations. He was out there yesterday. It wasn't a liability. Played complimentary football. That's all I can ask. I need to see more from Keanu Benton. Because with Derek Harmon being out and Y.A. Black playing how he played yesterday, he played really well. If you don't continue to bring it and help us stop that run at that nose tackle position you're playing, you could be getting minutes with Loudermilk and Logan Lee, and you don't want that when Harmon gets back and if YA gets pushed up the board and Heyward are there and Harmon's there. So he's going to play, obviously. I'm not saying he's not going to play. It's his role is just going to be, very, very limited. Very, very limited, and I don't want that. Other than Garrett Wilson, though, they didn't really do anything in the passing game. A couple darts here and there from Fields. Other than that, Boswell, once again, really won us this game. 60-yarder go ahead. And then on their ensuing drive to try to get back into field goal range with no timeouts, new head coach Aaron Glenn kind of, showed how he's a new head coach. Didn't really keep those timeouts in his pocket. They only had 1 timeout left. And 4th and 3. Got it to a 4th and 3. Fields scrambled, tried to hit that check down. And Garrett Wilson met Jalen Ramsey. And those two were jawing at each other the whole game. So this was a good win for Aaron Rodgers, team captain. This is a good win for head coach Mike Tomlin, week 1. A lot of growing pains with the defense. Not what we wanted to see in terms of those rushing yards from the New York Jets. And, just a bit too much running for my liking. So hopefully Coach T and Terrell Austin, hopefully they fix that up next week at Acrisure Stadium to our home opener of the season against the Seattle Seahawks. Their new quarterback Sam Darnold, no more Geno Smith. Like I said, Charbonnet, Kenneth Walker, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. They've got some guys, so we'll have to bring it. They are coming off a loss to the San Francisco 49ers. Brock Purdy and co. Struggled to get a win, but they edged it out in the end. So they'll be looking to get back on track. And defensively, we'll be looking to get back on track. Offensively, I want to run the ball better. Want to get the ball into DK Metcalf's hands even more. Want Roman Wilson to block and do other things so we can get that elevated role, so we can start getting the ball in his hands, and we can see with Roman Wilson of Michigan when he was with J.J. McCarthy. But Steelers fans, let me know what you think. What did you think of the first game? How did guys play? Are there any players that surprised you? Also, we will be waiting on Joey Porter Jr. and Deshaun Elliott injury reports. I don't think either of them will be too serious, but we'll wait and see. All right, Yensers, I'll see you guys next week.